Are midnight till morning still together after building the band? Here's what they've been up to since the show ended. Midnight till morning was one of the promising groups to emerge from building the band. The group, consisting of Connor, Shane, Mason, and Zach, ended up in fourth place in the Netflix competition show, but they're ready to show the world what they're doing. Though they had a very strong connection at first, Connor and Sweet Seduction's Allison's relationship put a strain on the relationship between the boys. Their performance of Iris by the Goo Goo Dolls was not up to the standards of the group, and they were at risk of elimination. Mason blamed Connor and asked him not to hang out with Allison. Shane said about the moment, "I feel betrayed by someone I thought was my brother." More from Stylecaster SCN4 found an incredibly special bond on building the band, but are they still together? Are Iconics still together after building the band? Here's what happened after Solidified changed their name. Connor later threatened to leave the band. "I get where you're coming from, of course. But from the get-go, it was one of those situations that was so deep, and I have no regrets with how I acted." He added, "With all that's happened, me continuing this, there's always going to be tension. I don't think I can continue on." Related, you won't believe which groups from building the band are still together. The boys were eliminated shortly after, but where are they now, and are they still close? Are Midnight till Sunrise still together after building the band? Yes, Midnight till Sunrise are still together after building the band, and they have a lot of plans ahead for their future. They've forged a bond that makes them a band that wants to stick together and make music for the long run, Shane said. The group has plans to release music after the group reunited in Australia. "I think it was literally 2 weeks after we finished the competition, we flew the boys out. We were in Sydney for about a month in the studio together," Mason told Tudum. "Since the show finished, we've probably spent 3 months solid in the studio, just day in, day out. We've got a whole album ready to go. We all have our own stylistic flares to us, and we decided we were just going to use that to our advantage," Zach recalled. "We kept a little bit of what each of us has, and ended up getting this cool pop-rock country sound that nobody else has right now. We want to write music that makes people feel seen," says Connor. "We want songs that people are going to use at their weddings and their birthdays and their funerals. We want to create something that's immortal." They're one of the first groups out of the show to announce new music. Their first single, "Bye," will be released on August 6th. Best of Stylecaster. The 26 best romantic comedies to watch if you want to know what love feels like. These Bachelor's secrets and rules prove what happens behind the scenes is so much juicier. BTS's 7 members were discovered in the most unconventional ways. Sign up for Stylecaster's newsletter. For the latest news, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. On Wednesday, July 23rd, Netflix released the final 3 episodes of the first season of Building the Band, announcing the first ever winners of the new music competition show. The Netflix series places hopeful musicians into bands to compete against each other for the title of Best New Band. Heading into episodes 8 to 10, three contestants from Massachusetts remained in the competition, with one of them making it all the way to the final 2 bands. But was it enough to win? Here's a recap of how the Massachusetts contestants did in the finale, as well as how to watch the season. What is Building the Band? Hosted by AJ McLean of the Backstreet Boys and judged by Nicole Scherzinger, the Pussycat Dolls, Kelly Rowland, Destiny's Child, and the late Liam Payne, One Direction, Building the Band is a 10-episode competition series that features singers as they try to form the next great music group. In the first round of competition, released in episodes 1 to 4, each contestant performed a blind vocal performance. Other contestants then had to decide if they wanted to make a band with each person depending on their performance, without seeing the face behind the voice. Split into 6 bands, the remaining contestants then competed together with their group for the remainder of the season, being judged on musical skill, choreography, and style. The final band standing took home a grand prize of $500,000. MA residents on the big screen, who won Love Island USA, Season 7. Here's how MA's Brian Arenales did in the finale. Who won Building the Band? Girl group 3 Quincy, made up of contestants Nori Moore, Wenley Quezada, and Brianna Mazzola, were named the winners of Building the Band Season 1. How did the MA contestants do on Building the Band $500,000 prize? Katie Roeder, Katie Roeder, a 24-year-old Boston resident, made it all the way to the final two bands after soaring through the final 3 rounds of competition with bandmates Donzell Taggart, Aaliyah Rose, and Cameron Good in the band SCN4. Despite Judge Kelly Rowland's mid-season prediction that SCN4 would take home the win, the band ultimately placed second in the competition after their final performance of Blinding Lights by The Weeknd. "Never in my wildest dreams imagined I would be somewhere like this," Roeder said of making it to the finale. "I'm getting to do things that I never thought I was going to be able to do. Like, little Katie would be so happy." Bradley Rittman. Bradley Rittman, a 23-year-old student at Boston's Berklee College of Music, is part of the band Iconics, formerly Solidified, alongside bandmates Landon Boyce, Malik Hurd, and Shaw. After successful performances of Tevin Campbell's Can We Talk and SCA's Saturn in episodes 8 and 9, Rittman and his band made it to the finale. They were eliminated after a finale performance of Bye Bye Bye, taking home 3rd place in the competition. Rittman said he felt proud of the group's progress, and in the opinion of coach and former One Direction band member Liam Payne, Iconics' journey is not over. "I'm just going to start here. One Direction came 3rd, the late Payne said to the group. "I've been stood exactly where you guys are, and I thought it was over. I thought it was done. That was it. That was the end of One Direction," he continued. "It was not. But I believe in you guys, and I meant it when I said that." Zach Newbold. Part of the band Midnight Till Morning is Zach Newbold, a 22-year-old Northborough resident. Along with bandmates Connor Smith, Mason Watts, and Shane Appel, Midnight Till Morning performed The Reason and Circles before being eliminated during episode 9, not making it to the finale and placing 4th overall. "I'm feeling really good," said Northborough's Newbold after the elimination. "I mean, I met these 3 awesome guys. We had a good time, we had a good run. We made it pretty far in this competition, so I can't complain." How to watch Building the Band. All episodes of the debut season of Building the Band are now available for streaming on Netflix. Legendary 70s Rockers announce new album. Legendary 70s Rockers announce new album originally appeared on Parade. Original Roxy Music band members Phil Manzanera, guitar, Andy Mackay, saxophone, and Paul Thompson, drummer, have announced a new album due out September 19th. AM/PM Soho Live is due out on September 19th via Expression Records and BFD/The Orchard and features material from Phil Manzanera and Andy Mackay's recent album, AM/PM, as well as notable tracks from Phil Manzanera's solo catalog and several Roxy Music classics, reads the press release. It continues, "Much of the material on AM/PM Soho Live is sourced from the 2023 Phil Manzanera/Andy Mackay collaborative effort, the instrumental AM/PM. Recorded during the lockdowns, the album was so well received that it inspired Manzanera and Mackay to play the tracks live." Recorded at those 3 sold-out gigs at an intimate screening theater in London Soho in March 2024, AM/PM Soho Live is mixed in Dolby Atmos and also features British/Portuguese singer, songwriter Sonia Bernardo, and another ex-Roxy Music alum, Anna Phoebe, on violin. Related, iconic rock festival reunion in new doc that features never-before-seen archival footage. Listening back to the tracks from this album, especially in Dolby Atmos, and trying to make sense of what is AM/PM Soho Live has made me realize that the original ad that I answered to join Roxy, which said, "Guitarist wanted for Avant Rock Group," was a thought and a mission statement staring me in the face and has informed quite naturally and organically the whole of the AM/PM project. Said Manzanera in a statement. Roxy Music was formed in 1971 with Thompson, Mackay, Manzanera plus Brian Ferry and Brian Eno. They quickly became known as Elegant, Art School Rockers. They took a hiatus in 1980s and 1990s, then returned in 2001 with a new tour. In 2019, Roxy Music was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and then in 2022, the band celebrated its 50th anniversary with a worldwide tour that culminated in a sold-out show in London. Rock legend shares heartfelt message after canceling final show of career. Jeff Lynne, frontman of Electric Light Orchestra, has updated fans about his health after he canceled his band's final show ever because of an illness. "I am now at home recuperating," Lin wrote in an Instagram post Friday, July 18th. I was absolutely gutted to have to cancel the final 2 shows. I send my heartfelt thanks to all of the fans as well as my band and crew for all their support and love. Lin's post was met with supportive comments from fans and loved ones alike. Your achievements are so great and you are so treasured and loved, one comment read. Congratulations on a tremendous final tour. We love you, Jeff. Glad you are home and safe and healthy. I flew to London for the show, but as soon as I heard you were unwell, all I cared about was you getting better. Another Instagram user commented. Yellow has been the soundtrack to my life, my favorite band of all time. I'm endlessly grateful for the joy your music has brought me. So glad I got to see you in California last year. Wishing you strength and a smooth recovery. Yellow's last show ever on the Over and Out farewell tour was supposed to take place at Hyde Park in London on Sunday, July 13th. However, Lin cancelled the show the day before because of a systematic infection, according to a statement on Yellow's X page. Jeff Lynne is heartbroken to report that we will not be able to perform at tomorrow's BST Hyde Park show, the statement read. Jeff has been battling a systematic infection and is currently in the care of a team who have advised him that performing is simply not possible at this time, nor will be able to reschedule. It continued, the legacy of the band and his longtime fans are foremost in Jeff's mind today, and while he is so sorry that he cannot perform, he knows that he must focus on his health and rehabilitation at this time. Ticket holders were directed to BST Hyde Park's website for refunds. Yellow's penultimate show was also cancelled due to Lin's health. The band's show on July 10th at Co-op Live in Manchester, England was set to be the second-to-last show on the Over and Out farewell tour, but the concert was axed just minutes before showtime, according to NME. Unfortunately, due to illness tonight's, Thursday, July 10th, 2025, scheduled performance of Jeff Lynne's Yellow at the Co-op Live will not be going ahead, a statement on Yellow's X page read. Jeff is devastated he cannot perform this evening. More information will become available as soon as possible. For refunds, please go to your point of purchase. Lynne had reportedly been struggling with his health while on tour. The musician broke his hand at the start of the final leg of the Over and Out tour on July 5th, Ultimate Classic Rock reported. Concertgoers have also shared concerns about the 77-year-old's health on social media. One fan wrote in a July 9th Facebook post that Lynne had to be helped onto the stage and was missing his cues, forgetting words, and almost collapsed 2/3 of the way through a concert they were at. They had to bring him a chair and he was struggling to stay on it. By the end of the concert, the band had to sing Mr. Blue Sky for him, and his backing singers looked visibly shaken up, the fan wrote. At the concert, and the crew rushed onto the stage to help him off. So sad to see my musical hero in such a state. How on earth he will manage tomorrow's MCR gig and Hyde Park on Sunday, I cannot imagine. Thanks, Jeff, for the fantastic music and enjoy your retirement. So sad. The final performance would have marked the end of a 55-year run for Yellow, which formed in 1970 in Birmingham, England. The band released its eponymous debut album in 1971. Yellow gained traction throughout the 70s and in the 1980s with hits like Evil Woman, Turn to Stone, Strange Magic, and Don't Bring Me Down, which peaked at number 4 on the Billboard Hot 100, Billboard reported. Yellow has since released 15 studio albums, with From Out of Nowhere in 2019 being their most recent. Several of the band's albums, including 1977's Out of the Blue, have been certified platinum status in the US by the RIAA. The band split up in 1983 after Lynne began feuding with manager Don Arden, but the breakup was finalized in 1986 because of contractual agreements. Yellow reunited for a short period from 2000 to 2001, but didn't begin touring again consistently until 2014. Yellow made its United States performance debut in 2018 after being inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, metal group celebrating 25th anniversary with special album release. Noah Kahan joins Gracie Abrams for surprise performance at Boston show. Country legend, in great spirits following surgery after on-stage stroke. Famous singer surprises patients at Boston hospital before TD Garden shows. 18 vintage photos show incredible life of Ozzy Osbourne. Read the original article on Mass Live. Yngwie would walk in front of me going whittle whittle whittle. It was very rude. A great singer's fights with Malmsteen. When you buy through links on our articles, Future and its syndication partners may earn a commission. In the early 80s, Yngwie Malmsteen was one of the hottest guitar players in the world. But one famous rock singer found the Swedish shredder a little too hot to handle. Malmsteen was still a relative unknown when he joined the band Alcatrazz in 1983. He was just 19 at the time, a young prodigy who worshipped Ritchie Blackmore and played at twice the speed. The rest of the Alcatrazz lineup, which came together in Los Angeles, was comprised of seasoned musicians. Clive Burr had been the drummer in Iron Maiden. Bassist Gary Shea and keyboard player Jimmy Waldo had played in the band New England, whose debut album had been co-produced by Paul Stanley of Kiss. And the really big name in Alcatrazz was English singer Graham Bonnet. Bonnet had briefly starred in Rainbow and the Michael Schenker Group and had also scored a solo hit in the UK with the song Night Games. By contrast, Malmsteen had played in the band Steeler, fronted by singer Ron Keel. Steeler was a club-level act that had made just one self-titled album before splitting. By the time Alcatrazz recorded their debut album No Parole from Rock and Roll, Clive Burr had left the group, replaced by former Alice Cooper drummer Jan Uvina. No Parole from Rock and Roll was well received by critics. Standout tracks such as Island in the Sun and Hiroshima Mon Amour were co-written by Bonnet and Malmsteen and suggested a powerful chemistry between them. But when Alcatrazz started touring, Bonnet soon realized that he and Malmsteen were not meant to be together. In an interview with Planet Rock magazine, Bonnet recalled, "Yngwie had no stage etiquette. He'd walk in front of me going whittle 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 over a verse of a song. It was very rude." Matters came to a head at a U.S. show after Malmsteen accused Bonnet of pulling out the cord of his guitar during a solo. Bonnet insisted that he tripped over the cord by accident. Bonnet also claimed that after that show, in the heat of the moment, Malmsteen was drunk and attacked him. "Yngwie grabbed me backstage and started throttling me," Bonnet said. "One of our crew stepped in and got hold of Yngwie's head under his arm and said, 'Are you gonna leave it alone now? Otherwise I'm gonna break your neck.' So Yngwie stopped and said, 'Sorry man, sorry.' But later that night we fired him." Malmsteen would go on to develop his own career as a guitar hero, and Bonnet found a replacement in an emerging genius superstar, Steve Vai, who had previously played for Frank Zappa. However, after one album with Alcatrazz, 1985's Disturbing the Peace, Vai went on to bigger things with David Lee Roth. And with that, the writing was on the wall for Alcatrazz. When Steve left, Bonnet said, "I knew this band was going down the shitter." Alcatrazz mustered one more album, Dangerous Games, featuring guitarist Danny Johnson, before splitting in 1987. Bonnet later made his peace with Malmsteen. "Yngwie was pretty crazy as a young man," Bonnet said. "He's not that guy anymore." Bonnet was also a changed man. As he put it very simply, "I quit drinking a long time ago." The negativity surrounding Jessica Simpson's recent Today Show appearance is pretty disgusting, and I'm glad some fans finally called it out. This article mentions substance abuse. Fans are sharing their concerns for Jessica Simpson after seeing her on a recent talk show appearance. On Wednesday, Jessica stopped by Jenna and friends on the Today Show to discuss her most recent EP, Nashville Canyon, PT1, which happens to be her first musical project in 15 years, and the forthcoming follow-up EP, Nashville Canyon, PT2. She also gave fans a tease of what they can expect while performing new songs like Blame Me and Fade. Several clips from the interview were shared on the official Jenna and Friends social media accounts, with a few of them going viral for, unfortunately, all of the wrong reasons. In one video, the 90s/00s pop star revealed the original sound for her album changed while going through her separation from her estranged husband Eric Johnson. The two called it quits after 10 years. They share 3 children together, 2 daughters, Maxwell, Maxie, Drew, and Birdie Mae, and 1 son, Ace Newt. Ella Hovsepian/Getty Images. Jessica Simpson was tagged as a collaborator on the Jenna and Friends clips, which means the posts would also show up on Jessica's feed, and all of the comments would be shared as well. Related, "What an ass. 19 brutally honest stories from people who ran into a celebrity in public. While opening up about it, people claimed they noticed Jessica slurring her words and sounding like Jennifer Coolidge.